Good morning and welcome to Blackberry Ridge. It's sort of a gray, cloudy day here. Um, yeah, kind of gray and cloudy. I'd really like to be able to get my sun oven out and be able to do something with it. Um, but it ain't happening today. I'm just saying, it ain't happening today. It's cooled down a little bit, so that's good. Um, So maybe I can get back over and where that disaster happened in the garden, where all the wood chips got blown away when we had that wind burst or whatever it was. Maybe we can get that taken care of in the next couple of days, in between the raindrops. Good news, great news. Bobby, my buddy Bobby, he brought Honeysuckle back on Sunday. So, oh, I tried getting it on video. I wanted you all, it was so wonderful. I wanted you all to see her reunion when she came back. And Thistle, that's our black cow, was up at the top of the hill, up by the water storage system there. And she came flying down that hill. She was jumping in circles, and I thought she was going to end up on her nose before she got down at the bottom. And if you ever have a cow go down, it's really hard to get them back up. And because they weigh so much. But anyway, she was dancing around and running in circles, and they got Honey out of. Honey was trying to go through the side to get to Thistle, and they got Honey out of the animal drag behind. And they were running with each other, and they were rubbing around on each other, and they were butting heads, and they were mooing, making their cow noises. And then lo and behold, next thing I know, here come the goat mutts. My goats came running down the hill. It was such a wonderful family reunion. Um, I wish I could have got it on video, but it was too dark at that time. For all I got was, me talking, and you could hear their noises and a black screen. So, so that's what happened with, we've got Honeysuckle back. Bobby said that she got bred on the 7th of September. It was witnessed. So we will keep everything crossed to make sure that maybe we have a calf. So 9 months and 11 days from then will be June the 18th of 1918. I'm sorry, 2018. Lord help me. 2018. So we're hoping that we get another cow. She's down at the bottom of the hill with Thistle. I don't know if you can see her or not, but she's down. Oops, I can't get you backwards. Anyway, she's down on the other side of the. Can't get you. Sorry. She's down there. Her and Thistle are down there taking a little bit of a rest. So we're hoping that we have a calf. Don't care if it's going to be a bull or a heifer. We don't care at all. If it's a heifer, then we will put it into our herd. And if it is a bull, then we will neuter it, turn it into a steer, and it will either go into our freezer or we will take and we will sell it for property taxes. You never know. You just never own all your land, even if you don't owe anything on it. I'm just saying. So don't want to get political, but I'm just saying. They say death and taxes, so so we got to figure out how we're going to be able to get our taxes paid each year. So anyway, we don't care whether it's going to be a heifer or a bull. We don't care at all. We're just going to be real happy that she has a calf. But more importantly, now the calf is a side product. I know y'all are laughing about that, but the calf is a side product. The important thing that we have with Honeysuckle is that she is a milk cow. And so we've been missing her milk something awful. I mean, that's milk, butter, sour cream, kefir, cheese, cottage cheese. I mean, you think of all the things that you use milk for. So, so the calf is a side product. The milk is what we're going for. Bobby said that Black, that's the guy's name's Black, he has a big old Angus bull that she got put in with. So we're looking forward to June, in the middle of June, to see what we end up with. We're real excited about that. I have both canners going on the stove right now. I did pull out my mirror. I have a 22-quart mirror pressure canner. So I pulled it out so I could try to get as many of these potatoes done as possible. Oh, hang on a second. I'm going to go and get something I want to show y'all. Okay, ran into the house real fast because I wanted to show you something. This is a quart of the potatoes that I was putting up when I did the video yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday when I did the video on canning potatoes. As you can see, they are lovely. They're a little more golden when they went into the jar, and that's okay. We did have a seal. Now, on the Tatler lids, I had a question where somebody said, how do you know if you got a good seal? Well, first of all, I don't store my jars with the rings on them. So after it's sat for the 24 hours, of course, I wrote on the top potatoes. Of course, that's backwards. Potatoes, and then I put the date on it. Or is it backwards? No, it's not back. Yeah, it's backwards. Anyway, I put the date and I labeled it. But the way that I test to see if it's good or not is I just pick it up like this. And I figure if I can pick it up by the lid and it stays on, then we've got a good seal there. So if we did not have a good seal, then it would be something that we would be using for dinner tonight, or I'd put it in the refrigerator tonight, or tomorrow it would be used. My goal is eventually for me to be able to put up a couple hundred jars of potatoes. So, and that may seem like a lot, but there's 365 days in the year. And so unless we're having rice or noodles, something like that with our dinner, potatoes is one of our main starches for our dinners. So, for instance, let's talk about how many jars we have to have. I can well over 1,000 jars every year, well over 1,000. And you need to figure out what you need for your family. But for instance, last night I took a pint of chicken out, and I took a pint of peas and a pint of carrots, and then I used about a cup and a half of flour. And from that, I made like a chicken and dumplings, a little bit of bouillon, like 3 tablespoons of bouillon, or 3 bouillon cubes I would use. And from that, I made like a chicken and dumplings type thing with peas and carrots in it. Really, really, really good. Really good. But there you're talking about, that was 3 jars that I pulled out. 3. Not counting what I had to have for the flour. So that was just for supper. So you think about if you're also planning on, what you're going to have for your lunch, if you needed to can it up, or what you needed for breakfast. That all adds up. So if you take 3 jars times 300 days, I mean, that's 900 jars right there. So it takes a lot of canning to be able to provide. So we do a lot of canning, but I have both canners on the stove right now, and I've got pint and a half jars, 7 pint and a half jars in each of them. And then when you think about when you're canning, it takes time to bring it up to where you get the steam venting. That takes 10 or 15 minutes. Just lost one of my props. That takes 10 or 15 minutes. Then you have where after it gets up, and then you have to let it vent for 10 minutes. So let's just say that's 20 minutes. And then it has to cook or be in there and be pressurized for, like, say, for quarts or pint and a half, 40 minutes. So now we're talking 70 minutes. And then it takes, 30, 45 minutes for it to cool down. So there, you're talking hour and a half, 2 hours every time that you put something in the canner. That's 2 hours. So, I mean, it makes for a long day if you're trying to can as much as I am. So I pulled the other canner out so I can try to get as many of these potatoes done up as possible. Now, don't lose the parts to your canner. So, don't lose the parts to them, because if you go to have to replace some of those parts, it's going to cost you some money, and you're going to be surprised at how much. Hang on a second while I get my thing that I just dropped. Okay, parked the potatoes. Got the potatoes parked in. And so, for instance, on my mirror, I've been using that mirror canner since 1988. And I know that for a fact because I bought that the year that I first moved to Tennessee. The first summer that I was here in Tennessee, I bought it. 1988. And let me tell you what, I have used and used and used that thing. And I used it for till probably about 8 or 9 years ago was when I got my All-American. And I got it because I was starting to have some gasket failure. My gasket was starting to get old on the mirror, and so I couldn't find a gasket at that time. And be honest with you, I didn't try real hard. But I had the money, so I went ahead and I got me the All-American because it doesn't use a gasket. And it had a gauge on it, and my mirror does not have a gauge. So I had been using that almost exclusively. But I went this summer where I've been doing so much canning. I wanted to have the opportunity of being able to use both canners at the same time. Have one working while I was filling the other, and sort of being flip-flopping back between the two canners. So the first thing that I did was that I went and I got me a gasket. Now here's the gasket that I got for mine. And I know it's backwards, but it costs $16.99 for the gasket. Now, when my food budget is under $100 a month, yeah, it can be done. Our food budget is under $100 a month. So anything that I use for my canning, that includes lids, jars, rings, anything that I use, then that comes out of our food budget. And so I took, $17 plus tax towards this gasket. Yay! Okay, so I'm all ready to go. I get the gasket, I get it washed, I get it hot, I get it oiled, I get it in the canner, and I can't find my weight. Looked all over. I got the weight on the one that's being used. They can't share because they each have to have their own weight. So I ended up having to put that thing aside, and I ended up having to wait another month or so, almost 2 months. And I ordered also from 33 Hardware in Maynardville. I went ahead and they ordered me the weight that I needed, the little round ring thing with the 5, 10, 15 on it. And that set me back, $20, $25. So make sure you don't lose your parts because you're going to be needing them later. Make sure you keep everything together. The other thing that I do is that I store my canners in their boxes. So when they're done, excuse me, surprise, what was that? So anyway, I store them in the boxes, which is great because then I have my model number, so they knew what they needed to order for me. Okay, so I'm just saying. So here we go. Okay, the other thing that I want to tell y'all is that may have a job. I have been putting my applications out at different places, and there's not a lot around here. Even driving to Maynardville or Tazewell or New Tazewell, there's not a lot of jobs that are available. So I put my application in every place that I could find, everything from McDonald's to the food city to everywhere. I've been trying to get a job. And one of the things that I am very good at, and I'm not bragging, I'm just saying, one of the things that I'm very good at is quilting. And I have been a quilting teacher in the past. And so I had talked to the lady who had the shop in Tazewell, Discount Fabric, and hopefully, and she called me this morning, and hopefully there might be a position for me as a teacher there. Doesn't pay a whole lot. She told me what it was going to pay, and it doesn't pay a whole lot. It's a little bit over minimum wage, not much. But you know what? I'm thankful for that. And there are people out there that say, well, I wouldn't take a job working for that amount of money. Well, good. Okay, go hungry. I mean, we don't qualify for food stamps or anything like that because I own my house. So what would you be willing to do to take care of your child? You know what? I love quilting. I love teaching. And she's going to pay me to do that. So yay. I'm just saying. I'm preaching, ain't I? Okay, the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is... while I was in this canning mood, I thought, okay, I'm going to go and I would like to put up some beef. So I wanted to put up some beef roast. And you can use inexpensive roast, what I thought would be an inexpensive roast. So I went to the grocery store, and even the ones that were on sale were like, $6, $7, $8 a pound. I was like, Lord have mercy. I have got a lot of money out there on the hoof. I was looking at the price of chicken because we don't buy meat. I mean, we have our hog, that we've been eating off of, and, the chickens, that we raise, and we don't have a lot. We don't do beef because I haven't butchered I haven't had any cows to butcher. But Lord have mercy, how in the world do people who don't have a homestead, how do y'all do it? Oh my gosh, how do you all do it? How, I mean, unless you've got a job making a whole lot of money or you're getting some kind of assistance, Lord have mercy, how do you all do it? So, I've been boo-hooing and moaning and groaning about, don't have any money for this or don't have any money for that. But you know what? I am so blessed. I mean, my cow, when she's in milk, she puts out, over 3 gallons of milk a day. That we do, butter, and my chickens give me eggs every day. How do you all do it? Maybe you can give me some advice. Oh, looky here. Looky here. Can you see? Who's here? Say hello, Tick. Hi, Tick. There's my buddy. There's my gardening buddy. So anyway, and with these disasters, these natural disasters that have been happening, I can only see food prices going higher. So God bless y'all. Maybe you can give me some advice on how y'all do it. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, God bless America. Pray for our country. And it's a wonderful day in Northeast Tennessee. Y'all take care. Vivian Ann saying God bless.